We've all seen those notorious YouTube videos where people are being knocked over by recoil from large caliber rifles. You don't want to be that shooter. The very first thing you want to consider is how much rifle do you really need, both individually and for whatever game you're pursuing. You're going to want to find that balance so that you're not overgunned and shooting a high recoil rifle when it's just completely unnecessary. Once you've chosen your particular cartridge and rifle, realize that recoil from any rifle, Magnum or not, affects everybody. What you don't want to do is develop bad shooting habits that are going to force you to flinch every time you go to squeeze the trigger. No matter what caliber you're shooting, recoil is always going to be a factor. But here are a handful of things you can do to manage recoil so that it doesn't become a negative for your accuracy as a shooter. First and foremost, you want to make sure your rifle fits you properly. Two of the most important adjustments on a rifle are the length of pull and the comb height. The Savage AccuFit system makes this really nice because right out of the box you can make all the adjustments you need for length of pull and comb height with the system that they provide straight out of the box. If you don't have a system like the AccuFit, you might have to make some aftermarket adjustments to ensure that rifle is going to fit properly. The second thing you're going to want to consider for recoil management is a proper grip. And with that grip comes the anchor into your shooting shoulder. You want to have a consistent anchor point every time you pull up that rifle to your shoulder, and you want to make sure it's nestled in there in the right spot in that pocket so that you're going to allow your body to absorb the shock of that recoil, and you're not just taking it on the tip of your shoulder or too far in by your collarbone, but right in that pocket so that you can use all your muscles and tendons and the elasticity of your body to absorb that recoil. The other parts of grip with your rifle are where you're actually holding the rifle with your trigger hand. You want to have a good, comfortable grip so that you can control the rifle here, but not so much that you're going to be tweaking the rifle during the trigger squeeze. And then the third and final part of your rifle grip would be on the forend. Think of your forend more so just as a shelf of support for your rifle. You don't want to squeeze too firmly. You just want to make sure that you're able to control that rifle and keep it steady with that forend grip. One of the worst experiences that can permanently negatively affect a shooter is getting scoped in the face. You don't ever want this to happen. So with recoil management, the third most important thing to consider is eye relief with your scope. Make sure you're going to have plenty of eye relief in the scope that you choose for your rifle and your particular caliber. The fourth thing you can do to manage recoil for a rifle with a threaded barrel is to add a muzzle brake. A muzzle brake is simply a tool that displaces the gases from your shot out to the sides of the muzzle versus straight out the front. By doing this, the gases are not going to force pressure directly back into your body, but rather off to the side of the rifle, thereby reducing recoil by up to 40% on just about any given rifle. You should never be afraid of squeezing the trigger on your rifle. So use these tips to help manage recoil and be a better shooter.